In the case of G.A. versus Melody Farris, the courtroom drama unfolded as the son of both the victim and the defendant took the stand, bringing an emotional and complex dimension to the proceedings. This trial, steeped in family ties and conflicting loyalties, captivated not only those present in the courtroom, but also the wider public, drawing attention to the nuanced relationship between victims, defendants, and the impact of crime on families. Melody Farris was charged with the murder of her estranged husband, a situation that spiraled into a tragic culmination of domestic strife and alleged betrayal. The backdrop of this case revealed a troubled marriage marked by tension, financial disputes, and accusations of infidelity. As the narrative of their lives unfolded, it became clear that this was not just a story of crime, but one of human frailty, desperation, and the quest for justice. The trial began with the prosecution outlining the circumstances surrounding the husband's death. Testimonies revealed a history of volatile interactions between Melody and her husband, painting a picture of a fraught relationship that had escalated over time. Witnesses described numerous instances of arguments, threats, and a deteriorating home environment that ultimately led to the night in question. As the trial progressed, the prosecution focused on the evidence, 911 calls, eyewitness accounts, and forensic analysis. Each piece of evidence painted a vivid picture of the chaos that erupted on the night of the murder. The prosecution sought to establish a motive, arguing that Melody's actions stemmed from years of accumulated rage and fear. Then came the moment that shifted the atmosphere in the courtroom. The son of both the victim and defendant was called to testify. His presence alone added a weight of emotional complexity to the proceedings. As he took the stand, the court fell silent. The young man, torn between loyalty to his mother and grief for his father, spoke candidly about his experiences living in a household marked by conflict. His testimony was raw and poignant. He recounted the fear and uncertainty that had enveloped their home, sharing intimate details of his father's threats and his mother's distress. He described moments of clarity amidst the turmoil, revealing a son's struggle to navigate the duality of his love for both parents. The courtroom was visibly moved as he fought back tears, illustrating the profound impact of the situation on his life. Defense attorney arguments focused on the concept of self-defense, positing that Melody had acted out of a genuine fear for her safety. They highlighted instances where the husband had exhibited aggressive behavior, emphasizing the psychological toll this had taken on Melody. The son, sitting there, became a living embodiment of the consequences of domestic violence, caught in the crossfire of his parents' conflict. As the trial progressed, it became increasingly clear that the son's testimony was pivotal. He humanized both parties, creating a narrative that transcended the black and white nature of the courtroom. His voice echoed the struggles of countless children who endure the fallout of familial strife, serving as a reminder that the ramifications of violence extend far beyond the immediate incident. The defense called expert witnesses to discuss the effects of trauma on individuals and how this can distort perception and lead to extreme actions. They painted a picture of a woman driven to a breaking point, trapped in a cycle of fear. The juxtaposition of the victim's history with the defendant's psychological state prompted the jury to grapple with the complexities of human behavior. As closing arguments were made, the emotional weight of the son's testimony lingered in the air. The jury was left to consider not only the facts of the case, but also the deeper implications of a life shaped by violence and the yearning for safety. This trial was not just about justice for a murder. It was about understanding the larger issues of domestic violence and its victims. When the verdict was delivered, it reflected the jury's struggle with the nuances of the case. They ultimately found Melody guilty of a lesser charge, highlighting the difficult balance between justice for the victim and understanding the circumstances that led to the tragedy. The outcome sparked discussions in the community about the need for better support systems for families in crisis, underscoring the importance of addressing domestic violence at its roots. The case of G.A. versus Melody Farris serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities that surround crime and family dynamics. The emotional turmoil experienced by the son highlighted the reality that victims and defendants can exist in a singular tragic narrative. It calls for a societal shift towards understanding and prevention, emphasizing the need for resources and education around domestic violence. Ultimately, this trial teaches us that every case involves real lives, real pain, and complex relationships. It urges society to approach issues of domestic violence with empathy and a commitment to change, recognizing that behind every statistic is a story waiting to be told. As communities strive to break the cycle of violence, the voices of those caught in the middle, like the son in this case, must not be forgotten. Their experiences can guide efforts toward healing, understanding, and ultimately preventing future tragedies.